Hey y'all, welcome to Sweet Tea and Butterflies. Today we are crafting in the Just Our Imagination Challenge, and um, our hosts are Brenda with Rustic and Lace DIY, Kathy Joe with Kathy Joe's DIYs, and Amy with the Singing Crafty Crafter. So our challenge items that we had to use is an extension cord, a paper plate, and I'm drawing a blank on the other one. I just used it. Oh, styrofoam. That's it, styrofoam. Ah, jeez. Somebody needs to wake my brain up, right? So I'm starting off with the paper plate. And so I've only got this one project for you because I used all three items in the one project. And it was kind of time intensive to do. I'm not 100% pleased with how it turned out. I've got some tweaks I need to make to it, and then it might be okay. I don't know. I'm still not too sure about it. Anyway, so I cut the paper plate in half, and I'm kind of using this bottle to kind of form it and size it, if that makes any sense. So, and then I'll take and just kind of lightly tack it onto the bottle. Now, my intention was to have part of that paper plate coming over and out onto the cardboard, but somehow I messed up when I measured and cut it and all that, and I was like, yeah, I can make this work. I'm not messing with going back and doing it all over again. I had more paper plate I could have done it with. I just decided I was not going to mess with it. I was just going to work with what I had. So I just kind of took a little bit of hot glue and tacked it lightly to the bottle, because the bottle's not going to stay in there. It's just to help me form what I was trying to form. So, and then I was trying to keep the bottle from rolling side to side. I took that paper bag that you saw, and I tore it into shreds, and now I'm dipping them in a, I don't remember if I think I used Mod Podge and water. I don't know. It might have been school glue and water. I don't remember. I mixed it up a while ago, and I just keep it in this container. And it's a lot runnier than what you would normally use for paper mache. So, but I'm just trying to get this done on a form anyway that's not, if you were using a balloon or something that was going to deflate, you definitely not want it so wet and soggy. So I didn't make you watch me do all of that. But I had taken all of those, put them on there, and then I sealed it with some Mod Podge because I had some of the pieces of paper that were sticking up. So I had to wait for this to dry. That's what took the longest with this, is waiting for everything to dry. So I took a little bit of water and a little bit of black acrylic paint, mixed it up in this little container, and now I'm just adding toilet paper, shredding and adding toilet paper. This particular project kind of it kind of goes with Amy's typical theme of, trash to treasure. But anyway, that toilet paper is very, very thin. So I later found that I didn't have to shred it up into little pieces. I just had to stick it in there, and as I was stirring it, when it got wet, it would tear up. It is definitely not worthy of being used on your tush. So it's a crafting supply. I had bought a big pack of it during COVID because that was the only toilet paper I could find, and it was in a decent sized pack. I was like, it'll get me through in a pinch if I have to. So I've got several rolls of it because now I don't have to buy it. Or I don't have to use that cheap cheesy one. So I use it for crafting. Anyway, I took a little bit of the ivory, or not ivory, antique white, and mixed it in with the black and the toilet paper. So that I got a lighter color. And as you can see, I just kind of took my tweezers and just picked and put it through there. So I want to take a minute to say thank you to all my subscribers. You guys are awesome. I love y'all. Thank you so much for all the support you give my channel. Anyway, now back to the crafting. So here's where the styrofoam comes in. And I'm not 100% happy with this particular piece, but it's something that I can finagle and tweak. I just was running out of time because of how long it took for everything to dry. So I'm just trying to cut out kind of a circular shape. And whoever picked styrofoam, thanks a lot, y'all. Do you know how messy this is? By the time I got done, I had styrofoam all over everything. But that's okay. I dug in and crafted with it. So I used the same technique here where I'm just taking that wet colored toilet paper and adding it to the styrofoam. And this is really just, it's too big for what I made. So I can go back and cut it down to a size that works better with the project. I just did not have time. At the time that I was doing this, I had the other part of it sitting over in the kitchen trying to dry. So I didn't get it measured properly. So, okay, here comes the extension cord part of it. So I'm sorry I don't have the full extension cord. I recently got laid off and I was not going to go spend money on a perfectly good extension cord to tear it apart. And then I remembered that I had one that was not any good because my dad, when he got these properties, had run an extension cord from an outdoor light over to the electrical box where he could plug it in if he needed light on that side of the house. Well, when he ran it from the light to the electrical plug, he kind of draped it over a fork, through a fork of a tree. Well, that tree kind of grew around that extension cord and compromised it. So I couldn't bring the whole extension cord in. I went out and cut me off a piece. Anyway, so I stripped off the outside layer. There were 3 separate wire things in there that were coated, and I took and stripped one of those down and pulled out all of the. Look at Smokey, just looks like she passed out there with her face down on my board. Anyway, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love it if you would subscribe. So anyway, I took and pulled all those little copper wires out of there. Now, I'm going to say that this is not the ideal wire to do this with. And I apologize. I know that you probably can't really see it, what I'm doing with it. I am making some little flowers with this wire. I went and watched a tutorial just to kind of get an idea of how to do these. I've seen them done before, but it'd been a while. I will link that video in the description box. So if you want to see, or you can actually see what's being done, how to do these, you can go to that particular video, because she's using a thicker wire that's much easier to see what she's doing. But basically what you do is you make a loop, twist it, and then you make another loop and twist it around between the two petals, that you just made. Make another loop for a petal, wrap it through and around in the, between two petals in the middle, which that's not probably, if you can't visualize it, then, it's not going to make any sense to you. And I'm not sure I explained it properly or in a way that would help you visualize it. But anyway, I made 3 of these. I think I only show making this one because the first 2 attempts were fails. And then I went and watched a video to see how to do it properly. And here I am doing it the way she showed to do it. And it's taking... Well, anyway, while we're waiting for me to do that, the Just Our Imagination challenge playlist link will be in my description box, along with the hosts' channels. So I would love it if you would go check them out. If you're, if you're one of my subscribers and haven't checked out, this playlist before, then please go check them all out. Show them some love, all that good stuff. All right, so now I'm using nail polish to do these, and the trick I got from her for doing this is to make sure that your petals are kind of more oblong, not round. You want them narrower from side to side so that you can get the nail polish to do what it needs to do. You'll see here in a minute that I do face a little bit of a struggle with a couple of them. That one did pretty good, but the next one was a little more challenging. And I don't know if I kept it all in or if I cut some of it out. I may have cut some of it. I don't know. But anyway, another trick that that the creator that I went and looked up said with doing these too is the older nail polish that's a little bit thicker, because with nail polish, it after you've had it for a while, it starts to kind of thicken up a little bit. Works better for doing this as well. But I had specific colors I wanted to do and had to work with what I had to get the colors I wanted. So this is the one that I struggled on. I got all but one of them done, and I just kept fidgeting with it, and it just wouldn't do. So I moved on to the other one. I was like, okay, well, let me wait for the others to dry, and then I'll stop messing up the other ones that are close to that one, trying to get that one to cooperate. But I fiddled with it for far too long before I came to that conclusion. I may move on to the next one at some point. I don't know. Y'all, there are days that I am definitely a hot mess. So, it is what it is. Now I'm moving on to the other one. After I finished that one, I went back and attempted that last petal on the other one, and it went smooth as can be that time. So, I don't know. I don't know if I was just concentrating too hard on it, or who knows. It's crafting, y'all. It's all it always throws at least one challenge at you, as if the items that we had to craft with were not challenging enough, right? An extension cord? Come on, Amy. Anyway, I made the best of what I could out of that extension cord. I think they turned out kind of pretty. So anyway, now we're going to move on back on to trying to get all of this put together, all of the little elements. So I took some Mod Podge and put it on the ground, so to speak, of my little tomb there. And I just used coffee grounds. It would have been best to use dried coffee grounds, but all my dried coffee grounds are fresh new coffee grounds. And, well, as I said, I just got laid off from my job, so I'm not going to waste something. I went and grabbed the wet ones. I didn't care. They'll dry eventually, right? Did I mention that 90% of the time on this project was waiting for stuff to dry? I ended up having to put the tomb in the oven for a little bit, but I couldn't do that with the styrofoam. It would have melted in the oven, so I had to wait for it to dry on its own. And you can kind of see from the shades there that it's not 100% dry all the way through, but that's okay. So I took a little piece of air dry clay, and I'm just kind of forming it where it looks a little bit like shaped like a mound of dirt. It doesn't look like a mound of dirt yet. And that's what I'm going to put my little flowers in. And I ended up just trimming them down to different lengths. And, because this wire is so thin, it bends really easy when you're trying to stick it in something. As I found out when I was trying to put it in the styrofoam to hold it up for me to paint the petals on it. But it goes in the clay pretty easy. I've got it twisted, doubled up and twisted. So it went in the clay pretty easy. Just not so much the styrofoam. It wanted to argue with me. But hey, it is what it is, right? So I get my flowers in there. And then I take and grab some of the green. It's not reindeer moss, because reindeer moss is it's more of a moist texture. This is really dry and messy, but it's green. And so I wanted to put it there, to kind of show, like in the spring when the grass starts popping up and turning green and, and whatnot. So I kind of wanted to bring a little bit of that element in, and that's how I chose to attempt to do that. So I do that on both sides, and learn the hard way to put a finger protector on, because the hot glue is less likely to stick to that and string and, all that. It still did some, but not as bad as it did to my finger. Not to mention the fact it's a little bit hot. Okay, now you'll notice that with this stone, the styrofoam piece, I have not done anything to the back of it yet. I did that off camera after I got it attached to the thing, and as you can see, it's way too big. So I will be going back and cutting that down to a more fitting size. But I was running out of time to get this done. The video comes out today, Monday, and I started on this Thursday. But having to wait for everything to dry just kind of strung it out way longer than I expected it to. I used this technique with the toilet paper on ornaments back around Christmas. And I guess I forgot how long they took to dry, because day 2 after I'd done it, they were still really soppy wet. So I stuck those in the oven to dry them too. But anyway, I took a couple of little, took a white and a purple flower, and just kind of stuck it over on the other side for a little bit of interest. And then I took some of the brown, I've got some brown moss too. I just put a couple of tufts of that on top of the tomb, like, you know how rock when you're out there in the rocks and whatnot, sometimes there's little tufts of grass or weeds growing through little cracks and whatnot. So I did that to kind of represent, make it look a little more realistic. But like I said, I'm not 100%. Oh, and I painted the mound of dirt that the flowers were coming out of. I think I used nutmeg brown for that. But yeah, there is my Easter tomb, so to speak. Like I said, I will be going back and cutting that boulder down. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Have a great day.